Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of AWS Partners Unplugged. My name is Igor Alexeyev, and I'm your host today. Today we have a special guest, Danielle Greshock. Many of partners know you, but for those who don't, Danielle, would you like to tell our listeners about your role and how you work with the partners?
Yeah, thank you, Igor. I'd love to. So again, Danielle Greshock. So I lead the Partner Solution Architecture organization that works with our technology partners. So what we do is we really help software companies that want to sell their products on AWS to build them, integrate them with our first-party services, potentially help them integrate with other software companies, and then make them ready for both our field to understand their products and for our customers to use them and enjoy the benefits that they can get from leveraging a unique solution on top of AWS.
So software companies and ISVs, I guess we call
Yes.
them. They come in different shapes and sizes, right? What kind of ISVs are you working with primarily?
So the way we have our team structured is that my organization works with many of the market leaders in the space. So companies, large companies such as SAP, Siemens, potentially Snowflake, other companies like that. And then what we do is we leverage what we learn from companies that are leaders in the space and have a lot of complexity, and then take that and set a strategy for all partners globally, many of which are actually managed locally from our geographically oriented teams that are closely aligned with our sales counterparts.
Great. And how do you help the AWS field to work with the partners? How partners work with our AWS field? It would be interesting to hear your role and how it works, and how you actually, not your role. I mean, I'm part of your team, so how the whole team works in this space.
That's right. To be fair, the team is doing most of the work here, so they should be, the ones we focus on here. But so what the partner SAs really do is they build a lot of activation materials. They enable, they do broad technical enablement of the field on our ISVs. Many of them actually build communities. So, for example, we have software companies that are leveraged quite a bit across the globe, and we can't have one person sitting in, say, New York or Seattle trying to manage all of the needs of the customers around the globe. So what they often will do is build some community and teach, kind of train the trainer, as it were, and really help other solutions architects to learn about these software solutions on top of AWS, and then get them to a 300 level so that they can actually really help customers scale with some of the largest ISVs. So definitely in field activation is a big part of what we do. So we build a lot of assets, but we build a lot of community as well.
Yeah, actually, I experienced this firsthand. My partner has a lot of reach outs internally, people asking questions, they want knowledge, exactly what you're saying. Yeah, and we are building that community for them. Awesome. And almost any conversation now turns to generative AI. It's no surprise. Right. It's a topic of the last 2 years. How do you see AWS? How do you see the partners innovating on AWS and generative AI space? Because you're exposed to a broad range of partners, right?
Yeah. So the way that we organize our teams also is we're really focused on 3 different types of software companies. So software companies that would be in the infrastructure space, companies that are in the business applications, so horizontal solutions, and then industry solutions. So each one of these is kind of approaching the generative AI in a different way. So with the infrastructure companies, a lot of what we've been seeing is innovation when it comes to code generation, automation, tooling, as well as, security, detecting anomalies, those types of things. And then when you move into industry solutions, you can see how generative AI can really help with common problems. I've seen some of our manufacturing partners really do a lot of summarization of documentation that might be needed for the heavy industry that they're working in. I've seen healthcare and life sciences do some innovation with our generative AI services around diagnosis, and even as well with some financial services companies in detecting fraud. So there are a lot of different ways that generative AI is getting built into our software the software ecosystem as a whole, and really they're building it into their products, and they're also connecting with our generative AI services as well, because they can see the benefit of having a fully integrated product that offers generative AI features.
Yeah, actually, I see similar things. I see things that apply to almost every partner and every company. It's like productivity of developers.
Yeah.
Everybody can take advantage. SQL generation, code generation. And then I also see like domain-specific solution, industry-specific solutions. There are some cross-horizontal solutions like knowledge management, summarization that applies to everybody who has large body of knowledge.
Yep.
But there are some industry very specific solutions that require specific knowledge. And but companies are experimenting. Partners are experimenting and they're trying to do things, but what are the challenges? And everybody's talking how like everybody's doing POCs and nobody is moving into production. Like, what challenges do you see with other partners, in generative AI space? Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think that there are some large companies that are definitely concerned about AI and their protection of their IP. Like last year, I actually went to a CIO industry event where basically a lot of the CIOs who were of Fortune 500 companies, not necessarily in the technical space, but they leverage a lot of our software products of the software community that we try to foster here. They were all saying we want to let our customers and we want to let our employees actually take advantage of these tools on the market or what's up and coming, but we're afraid of leakage of IP. We're afraid of security. We're afraid of things such as that, and so we want to have a lot of checks and balances and things that I believe that Amazon Bedrock can provide around guardrails, etc. But those are a lot of the things that we heard some challenges around. And also pricing is definitely something of concern as well, because it does take a lot of compute power to get some of these benefits as well. And then the reality is that some of the experimentation hasn't necessarily turned out the way maybe some folks had hoped. And I think as we continue to fine tune it and continue to offer more fully baked accelerators, more and more people will get to take advantage of generative AI.
I like to use a metaphor. I'm a cyclist in New York City. In order to cycle fast, you need to have good brakes.
Yeah.
And I think that applies also to
That's a good one. I like that.
Generative AI, because a lot of people, what they did, they just created simple bots first with LLM, user input, and then RAG architectures with the search. But what they are missing is that component that verifies, right? If the answer is sent to user directly without any kind of classification or detection of leakage, or is it the right answer, or any kind of tracking of the quality of the answers, people are basically flying without brakes or blind because they don't know what's going to the user. They don't know what's going out, especially if it's a public bot. It's a big concern. And that's I'm glad you brought up that Bedrock guardrails. We have tools that kind of help partners build it into their products, right? Because, and actually, I kind of question for you, do you see like partners, we're saying that generative AI is across the board, right? Do you see partners differentiate themselves with generative AI, or is it still they're building into their features?
Yes.
Like where are they in their journeys in this case?
Well, I mean, I think we definitely have a swath of partners who are in the model development space that they are the ones who are definitely differentiating with their own LLMs and whatnot. We definitely see large enterprises that are sitting on a lot of data, going down the path of building perhaps their own LLMs or using one of the market leaders to then fine tune with their own data. So those two areas, probably are where we're seeing a fair amount of differentiation. But I think even just solutions that are there taking advantage of the automation piece of it are really the ones who are bringing the benefits to their customers. So a lot of people who are going to use software are not going to be technical users. They're going to be business users who have a lot of manual things in their day-to-day that the power of AI, that's what it can really benefit. So I definitely see a lot of differentiation across the board. And I think people are being pretty creative in how they're leveraging the new technology. That's why people are so excited about it.
Yeah, and I kind of glad you mentioned that, because the spectrum, I see it in the field too. I do workshops with my partner, and I see people who are coming to those workshops, they completely, some are non-technical, some are technical, some are way far ahead and already know everything almost. So there's definitely a spectrum there.
Yep.
And so how do we help the partners, right, in this case? What can we do to help partners kind of develop their solutions? And it doesn't have to be technical. It can be business sometimes, right? I know we have...
Yep. Of course. No, I think, look, we are here to sit down with you, have whiteboarding sessions, really work through the art of the possible, help you think through, and ideate around what your product could, add, what it could, what new product lines that you could think about. And, look, we're also here to help with the technology bits about what we have in our toolbox, what you might have in yours in order to make these things come to life. And then, we also can help you with prioritization, with funding, all of these different things. And then, of course, once something is a POC and you want to take it to production, we can help you test that market and do go-to-market activities to let folks know about it, so that you can really figure out if this is something that is going to change the path of your future product roadmap. So
yeah, and actually I want to mention, so we at AWS, we have these 3 layers of services, and you kind of alluded to that later. So depending on the type of the user, we have a higher level AI applications, AI services like Q developer, Q business, where you don't really need to do much. A non-technical person can create a bot. And we have Bedrock, which is our serverless generative AI service. So for basically any partner need, we have a product. We have a lower tier where we have GPUs and Trainium and Inferentia to help partners. So I definitely agree with you. We do have tools, we have programs and service. And I think we're coming close to the end of the episode. Danielle, would you like to talk about any other topics today?
No, I think just the main message I'd love to leave you with is, if you would like to ideate with us and you have some path forward, it could be around generative AI, it could just be around improving your product for customers, for the AWS joint customers that we have together, and what cloud can really bring into your product. We'd love to chat with you.
Well, thank you, Danielle. Thank you for coming and discussing these topics. If some partners would like to reach you, what's the best way?
They can just reach out to me at my last name at Amazon or through LinkedIn. I'm definitely there as well. And I look forward to hearing from any of you. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you for coming. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time.
Thank you.